Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Caitlin and today we are going through my spooky themed palettes. I saw Batty Bean do this video and I went, oh, I have a lot of spooky palettes too that I want to talk about. So that's what we're doing in today's video. If that sounds good to you, keep on watching. Before we get too far into the video, if you haven't already, please consider clicking that subscribe button. I upload twice a week and I would love to have you back again on the channel. Eyeshadow is my #1 favorite part of my makeup, so I love it anytime I get to revisit even old favorites. It doesn't always have to be new. And yeah, show you guys some of the spooky things in my collection. All right, so first off, I'm gonna start from Lethal Cosmetics with the Teresa is Dead palette. And I will leave linked in the cards, or if I run out of room there in the description box below, links to any videos I've done with any of these palettes, such as this one. Here's what it looks like. I'm not sure if you can get this one anymore. She just did a collab called Teresa is Lethal with them, a part 2. I don't have this one. This is the original, so I don't know if you can get this one. But it's kind of spooky themed just because there's names like The Final Girl, Watery Grave, Predator. It's all like 80s old like horror movie inspired in a way, so that's definitely a spooky one. Next up from Give Me Glow, this one was actually in my pile of shame. I'm not gonna lie, I had to dig it out, but it is spooky seasoned. So I want to bring out the Bad Witch Club, and the fact that this says season fall on it makes me think that they're gonna have different seasons of the Bad Witch Club. What do you guys think? I have not used this one. I have no reason. It looks amazing. I need to dig into this ASAP. Maybe I'll keep this out and put it in my next video in my pile of shame series. But the metallics look so good. And I know I like this brand. I have their Christmas Morning palette, the Sticky and Sweet palette. Love those. So I really do need to dig into this one, but yeah, nice and witchy vibes. Next up from Nomad is their Haunted Europe palette. Now this one is sold out and they've said like, that's it, it's done, limited run, not bringing it back. So you can't get this one anymore. But if you did pick it up, let's just, you know, have a moment for this cool, holographic isn't the right word, but like where the image changes back and forth between two things. Such a cool idea. And I've said it before, guys, but the embossing is what gets me on this one. I'll hold it a little closer for you. We've got graves, we've got cobwebs, we've got bats. Just the embossing gets to me. Love it so much. And these shimmers from Nomad, I will say, I don't think they're that spectacular on their own, but if you pair them with glitter primer, they really are great. And the mattes are really nice too. So yeah, that one's cool. One of the only red shimmers I have in my collection from this palette. So just a reminder to pull it out if you haven't used it in a while. Okay, this is kind of spooky-ish. I brought this out from Melt. These are the Vida and Muerte palettes. I actually didn't get these originally. Melt wasn't on my radar. It was more like when I was starting to get into indie brands a couple of years ago. The Vida palette was on sale at some point, so I got that one just because I was like, oh, it was on sale. And then I couldn't get the other half. You maybe were like me and you couldn't get Muerte for the longest time. They were like, no, limited edition, it's not coming back. So like the color story I know isn't super spooky, but just the theming of it being Dia de los Muertos is why I'm putting it in here. And then lo and behold, what, like a month ago, 2 months ago, whenever it was, Melt was like, surprise, we're bringing back the Muerte palette, the darker version or side of the 2 palette set. And I snagged it then. I did, because I had heard people rave about it for years and how like, well, if you missed out, sorry. So I was like, now's my chance. And I did pick it up. So I have the set, the collection, if you will, of both. And they're really pretty, really nice. I will say I've used Muerte. I actually never did use Vida, even after I got out in sale. So more from my pile of shame, but in the honor of the spooky season, maybe I'll do a look that has both of these in it. I don't know. You guys let me know what you want to see out of these palettes in the comments below, and I'm happy to oblige. Okay, from Lunar Beauty, we've got the Moonspell and the Moonspell Volume 2, both of these. So the OG, I mean, if you've been around, like, how many times have I talked about this palette by now? A lot. It's still wonderful. Love it. haven't used this one since my friend's bridal shower, I think in September, so it might be time to pull her out again. And just being totally transparent, the volume 2, we had to pull her from the pile of shame, guys. I still haven't used this either. I'm scared. That's what it is. Like, I got it because it's limited edition and it's Lunar Beauty, and I love Manny. I love the brand. But I'm scared because this is the one that everybody was like, okay, he even said he reformulated. It's from a different lab. They said it wasn't like as good. And I'm scared. I don't want to be disappointed. So if you've used this and you thought it was good, please reassure me in the comments to like get over it and finally use it. Because I love purples. It's one of my 2 favorite colors of eyeshadow to put on my eyes. I'm just so scared to be disappointed by it that I just keep like putting off using it, which is silly because I'm pretty sure that the Nude Prism palette is that new formula from the new labs too. And that one's fine. I love that one. I've made a video on that one on my channel, so I don't know, but it's spooky themed. Ooh, okay, I have several from Unearthly Cosmetics. I think all of mine actually say Alien Cosmetics because that's how old they are. The look I'm wearing right now is from their mystery box, and that's really spooky stuff in there. It's all limited edition though. The first palette I ever bought from them, they called it the Serendipity palette back then, and look at the artwork. Spooky, right? Like, come on. It doesn't look like this anymore, which I think is a crying shame. And now it's called the Poison Apple palette, but it looks the same inside. I think it's square pans now, but this palette was so wonderful. It was the first one I ever bought from the brand at the recommendation of Nikki Raven. If you've seen her on YouTube, if not, you're missing out. She's hilarious. Look her up. Then I placed a second order with the Lore palette, which I think this is still like spooky mystical, right? And again, it says Alien Cosmetics. Mine, they've updated the packaging, but it's like mythological, you know, like think basilisk, centaur, minotaur, sphinx, that kind of stuff. Such a good story. The looks that I made with the Lore palette, I think are some of my favorite looks I have ever made on my YouTube channel. I'll leave those linked for sure. And then I also have from Unearthly Cosmetics the Hauntingly Glamorous palette. This was their collab with Cindy Nicole. I think this one's still available. I don't have Not Normal. I know that one's kind of spooky from their brand. And I didn't get any of the new, like they just did 4 ones for Halloween. Look, when you put up 4 palettes at a time, like, I don't know if you're like this, but that's just too much. Like, I can't even pick, so I just skipped the whole thing. And that's what I did with their latest release, but they did come out with 4 like spooky limited edition palettes recently. I like this one a lot. I haven't played with it nearly enough. That's partly why I like doing these videos too, guys, because then when I pull these palettes, I can intentionally not put them away right away. Like, I can let them sit, and then like as I'm doing my makeup the next few days, I can pull for what's out, which is these. Like, I put everything else away and leave out the stack from the video I made talking about old palettes, and I can rediscover some old favorites. All right, y'all, I cannot find it for the life of me to show you, but I have the ColourPop Nightmare Before Christmas palette somewhere. I don't know how it has escaped me. I even found from the collection, I bought these 2 little Jelly Much shadows. I didn't get all 3 because the third color just did not appeal to me, but I got the shade Lock, which is this like purpley darkness, like shimmery. And I want to keep these out too, because I know if you don't use these very quickly, they can dry out and go bad. And these are already like a year old. They're not dried out yet, but I can tell that they're like starting to go that direction. And then I also got the Shock, which was the pink one. And I did try to use this as kind of like a cream blush one day. The color was really nice. It was a little like patchy on the cheeks, like it dried fine, but I might try it one more time just to see if I can use it that way. But I know I didn't get Beryl. I didn't like, it was like some sort of like brown shade I wasn't into, but can't find the palette, but that's a spooky one in my collection that if they restock that, like, that's pretty nice. I know some people thought the color story was not very Nightmare Before Christmas, but I like they had like some combos of like grays and pinks and things that were really, really cool and unique color story wise, in my opinion. You've seen this one on my channel quite a few times recently as well, but the Spooked palette from Gourmand Girls. And this is a collab with Doodles by the Bunny. Need I say more? So cool, so unique, great formula. I won't spend too much time on this just because I have talked about it on my channel a lot recently, and I'll leave videos linked if you want to see more. And the last spooky palette in my collection is from Shroud Cosmetics. This is their collab with Batty Bean, Beaute Bean, she formerly was called. That's what I have on this packaging. I thought, what better way to end the video than with her palette, just because she inspired this whole video. And of course, I'll leave her video linked as well for you to watch if you want to see even more spooky palettes. We have a few in common, like that both of our videos have, because I do feel like my makeup is very inspired by her, big time. So here's It's Freakin' Bats. I do not yet have Halloween. I will have it in my collection at some point. It's currently in restock, so it's not sold out, but it's just you know, trying to not buy so many things thing right now. So we'll see if Shroud has a good like Black Friday special. Maybe I'll give myself a little grace and give it then, because that multi-chrome Black Flame looks amazing. But here is, in the meantime, It's Freaking Bats. I love this grungy color story. Yeah, I don't have a bad thing to say about this palette. Really cool and unique color combinations that you just should check out if you haven't tried any of this stuff. Like, step out of your comfort zone a little bit. Like, maybe I look crazy to you, but I feel like this is kind of wearable. Like, it's sickening to me. I love it so much. So yeah, guys, that is all for this video. I hope you enjoyed my collection of spooky makeup in time for the end of the Halloween season. And yeah, that's all. I hope to see you again on the next one. Bye.